Welcome to Hair in the Hawthorn. My name's Kate Ray and I'm your host. And we have a super special episode this episode. For those who are eagle-eyed, you will notice that Neil, he hasn't changed in how he looks. I have a new co-host just for this episode and maybe future episodes if I can persuade him to come back and do some stuff with me. We've got Paul Goddard. Now, Paul Goddard's a friend of mine, and one of the things that he specialises in is past life regression. So I had this genius moment. I was talking about our guest this evening, Lionel, about past life regressions and how interesting it would be to talk Lionel through that. So that's the theme of this episode. We're going to be looking at the past of Lionel Fanthorpe, his past life, his incarnations in this lifetime. So I'm going to first of all welcome Paul. And Paul, if you can just give a brief overview of who you are and what you do, that'd be great.
Thank you, Kate. So my name's Paul Goddard. I'm a clinical hypnotherapist, and I've got known most recently for my work in past life regressions, but I do have an interest in the paranormal and unexplained. So I also help people through classic hypnotherapy. I do regression therapy for this life, but I really absolutely love and really looking forward to tonight doing the past life regressions, which is taking people through to a potential past life that they've lived for this one of the many they may have had as well.
Mm-hmm. That's brilliant. Yeah, so for those who are like their paranormal, you may have spotted Paul on, was it the last series of Help My House is Haunted?
So I was in the Chapel of Unrest in series 4, and also I think it's the third series, is it? It was a celebrity Help My House is Haunted episode with Tina Malone, and I think that's the third series they've got of that. So yeah, it was really great fun to be involved with it, and a wonderful team of people that work on it as well.
So if you haven't seen Help My House is Haunted, I have to promote it because Barry Guy's my boss and a very good friend of mine. So go and watch Help My House is Haunted and see on there who you can spot, because you might spot some other faces that you recognise. Also, Paul, I was reading through 14 Times magazine and just flicking through, and he was very quiet about the fact that he did this, but I found Paul as writing an article in 14 Times, and I was so excited for him, which brings me to very nicely to our next guest, who's a very beloved guest of Hair in the Hawthorn, and this is his third time on, and I'm always grateful that Rev Lionel Fanthorpe comes back and speaks to us. But the segue is this month's 14 Times magazine features Lionel on the front cover. I know that's a bit glary, I do apologise for that. And it's all about 14 TV, and we have spoke to Lionel about 14 TV before, and I did find today my 1998 copy, which also features a slightly younger, only ever so slightly younger Lionel on his beloved Harley Davidson. So I was just saying that being on the cover of 14 Times is akin to being a musician and being on the cover of the Rolling Stones. So that's super exciting stuff. Thank you, Lionel, for coming back, and it's lovely to see you again. How are you doing?
I'm absolutely fine, and it's a very great pleasure to come and work with you and Paul.
Brilliant. So, Paul, do you want to have a chat with Lionel about what may happen as part of this regression and what the kind of process is?
Yeah, sure. So I'll be putting Lionel in a state of hypnosis, which is a natural state that we get into all day anyway. So if you think about people that are driving, quite often we'll go to a destination and we'll think, oh, I shouldn't be going here. I'm driving to work and it's Saturday and today's my day off. In those circumstances, you've gone into a hypnotic state. So people are going what's called autopilot. Where we are now is non-waking consciousness, which is beta, and you'll be going down into from beta to alpha, from alpha to theta to delta. As you lower the brain waves, you go deeper into hypnosis and trance. Delta is actually deep sleep. If I put Lionel in that, well, he'll certainly have a nice rest, but probably won't get much of a regression. So I'm probably looking between that alpha and theta state where I'm getting Lionel today. We also pass into those states before going to sleep when we go to our beds and we fall asleep at night. So that's what hypnosis is. It's a natural state. A lot of people think they're going to go into some sort of zombie type state. I know Lionel has been hypnotized before, so he's very much aware of what the experience is going to be like. But I always say to all of my clients is that if you've seen the Avengers and you've seen hypnosis, you've not really properly seen hypnosis. That's very much a theatrical version of hypnosis. And for any reason Lionel wishes to open his eyes, say if there's a noise or the smoke alarm starts going off, Lionel will be able to come out of that hypnosis completely and utterly fine and alert and dealing with what is happening right there and then. But he'll just be experiencing a nice, deep, relaxed state. What he might be getting in the past lives could be visual, it might be auditory, so he might be hearing more, we might be sensing where he is more. For some people, they go into hypnosis and it's like recalling memories. So if you close your eyes and deeply remember being on a holiday, that's what it's like for most people. Very, very occasionally, I do get people who think it's so real, it's almost like they're there. And if you spoke to me about that going back a few years, I said, oh, everybody's always aware that they're there themselves. They're always aware that they're in the chair. And that's, I would say, 99.9 of my regressions. But doing this quite a long time, occasionally I do come across the few people who really, it feels quite real for them. But that's quite rare. But we'll see what the experience was like for Lionel after he's had the experience.
Brilliant. So Lionel, we don't want to chat with you too much because we'd like to get this underway, and I really want to concentrate on after your regression and asking you questions about that and your previous ones. So are you happy to get going with
Absolutely.
Paul?
Yeah, fine.
Brilliant.
That's great. So are you happy now to close your eyes for me, Lionel, please? Wonderful. Just allow yourself to get as comfortable as you can. And with your eyes now closed, I want you to pretend and imagine that your eyes are closing again. And as you hold on to that relaxation now that you're beginning to feel, you can imagine and pretend that they are just locked, glued, closed. Just pretending and imagining that they are locked, glued, closed. So holding on to that imagination and relaxation, spread that right down from your eyes to the tips of your toes. In your own time, you can just start taking some nice, slow, deep breaths, making each and every single in and out breath as relaxed and as comfortable as you wish to make them right now. Being aware of my voice, aware of yourself in your chair. That's right, aware of yourself relaxing deeper and deeper and more deeply relaxed. That's right. And as soon as your inner mind knows you can relax sufficiently to review memories of a life you've lived before this one, you can find yourself getting a little more comfortable now. And like when you're on a beach next to the sea and a wave comes in and crashes down, you can experience a wave of relaxation spread from the top of your head down to the tips of your toes. And again, as the wave may crash in again, allow another wave of relaxation to spread over you. And you can double the relaxation. Double it again. you've relaxed your body, it's now time to relax your mind. And as your mind relaxes, your body relaxes. And as your body relaxes, your mind continues to relax and drift and float deeper relaxed. I want you to imagine yourself now in a very relaxing place of your choosing. And in this relaxing place of your choosing that you're imagining right now, which can be a real place or an imaginary place or a combination of both, it's up to you. You can relax here deeper and deeper and more deeply relaxed. Allowing yourself to drift and float deeper relaxed. That's right, so sleepy. So relaxed. Deeper and deeper and deeper sleep. So sleepy. So relaxed. Deeper and deeper and more deeply relaxed. Everything is slowing down now. Slowing down as you relax, as you visualize this very deeply relaxing place of your choosing. That's right. Allowing yourself to drift, to float, to sink, deeper relaxed. Deeper relaxed as your mind relaxes. Drifting down. Down deeper. And there is a state more relaxed than this. Double the relaxation you now feel. And your subconscious mind can help take you into that even deeper relaxed state. Now. That's right. Everything is slowing down now. Slowing down, that's right. Deeper as you relax. And if you haven't already, slowly, easily and effortlessly allow your breathing to return back to normal. So sleepy. So relaxed. And to help with the deepening process, I want you now to visualize yourself in a very beautiful, relaxing place of your choosing again. Seeing what you see in this beautiful, relaxing place. Feeling what you feel. Allowing yourself to just enjoy seeing or sensing what you feel now. And slowly, easily, and effortlessly, to stay in this nice, deep, relaxed state as we guide you now even further deeper relaxed. Just describe to me out loud so I can hear this very relaxing place of your choosing.
A very beautiful room. And there are cushions and couches. And the walls are covered with beautiful pictures. And from where I'm relaxing on the couch, I can see a view of a ship with the sun shining on clear Mediterranean waters. And in the next picture, it's a mountain, but one with an easy path, with hand, a very safe, gentle thing, from which a beautiful landscape can be seen. The next picture is an old-fashioned country garden with roses and tulips and other beautiful flowers which I recognize but cannot name. And there are other pictures, bright, colorful, but too far from them for me to see the details. And I'm resting back on this wonderfully upholstered couch. And I am as comfortable as it is possible to be. And I just want to rest here for day after day and relax.
Very, very good. And you can always go back to that very relaxing place of your choosing by just closing your eyes, relaxing, and thinking in your mind the words 20, 20, 20. So that's 23 times 20, 20, 20. Very good. And now, when I next count to 3, your subconscious mind will create a really wonderful corridor for you. And in this corridor, there will be doors leading off to either side. And each of these doors leads to an experience back in time way, way back in time, back to before you were born, way, way back to a life you've lived before this one. But for now, on the count of 3, just want you to go to that corridor that your subconscious mind creates for you with the doors leading off to either side. All right, now 1, 2, 3. A corridor with the doors leading off to either side. And whilst you're here, familiarizing yourself with this corridor that your subconscious mind creates for you. The doors leading off to either side. Just describe to me what this corridor looks like that your subconscious mind has created for you out loud.
Corridor. Very well designed. The walls between the doors have raised pattern colours, and the doors themselves have more than 4 panels, and they vary. There are 6 panels on the one nearest to on my left. The one on the right has 8 panels. And the doorknobs are very large, and they are gleaming. They are shining like polished metal. And there are indentations which make them easy to turn. They are very inviting, instinctive. I want to put my hand on the nearest.
Very good. And if I was to ask your subconscious mind which door you're most drawn to, would it be that one that you're instinctively drawn to, or is there another you're drawn to?
The one immediately on my left.
Very good.
And the beautiful handle shining like copper. And a lovely red-orange glow coming from the metal. It's almost as if the tactile feeling has sound, calling me, welcoming me, inviting me inside. And I stretch out to touch the handle, and it's like shaking hands with a dearly loved friend. The room has a personality. It offers its friendship and its loyalty. It offers knowledge.
Good. So now with that door there, in a moment, I'm going to go through that very doorway, and as you say, the feeling of connection that you have and the link through to knowledge of a life you've lived way, way before this one. On the next count of 3, I want you to allow yourself to open the door. And when the door opens, you be pleased and delighted with what you can either sense or see through that door way back in time, way, way back to a life you've lived before this one. So allow yourself to open the door on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. The door opens back in time, way, way back to a life you've lived before this one. And describe to me what you can see or sense through the door as you're there right now.
It's very beautiful, but surprising. I'm outside, and there's grass on a gently sloping hill, and there are sheep. There's as many as I could count, a huge flock. And there are 2 or 3 of them closely round me. They're the height of my knee, and they're rubbing very gently against me, as if they're welcoming me as the door did. And I look down and I see I have a long white robe from my shoulders almost to the grass. And I am wearing leather sandals. And the feeling in my hand, my left hand, and now I look where I feel, and I have a staff in that hand, a simple, plain wooden staff, a little taller than I am. And I'm holding it at waist height and putting a little weight on it as I walk through my floor. And they don't run away from me. They move aside in a friendly way, gentle way. And I rub first against one with my knee, and then another. And I go through my floor. And on the far side of that hill, there is a gently flowing stream, and several of them are drinking from the stream. And there is a great sense of peace. It is hard to describe, but it is as if I was a member of the flock, as well as being their shepherd.
That mate.
Yes, it is so good, very good. And time is moving like different pictures of the day at different times. And the sun is setting. And there is a small hut near the river, near the stream. And I have bedding in there. I go inside. and I rest there. The sun sets, and the moon rises, and I sleep, and I sleep, and I sleep.
Wonderful. Allow time to move further forward from yourself being in the hut to the very next morning. And when you awaken, I'd like to know what you're doing, but also as well, when you awaken in the morning the very next day in that hut, I want you to tell me the name of what they call you in this lifetime. Allow that to come to you, and then tell me what your name is. So allow yourself, if you haven't already, 1, 2, 3, the next morning to.
It is morning, and I'm waking, and there is another shepherd coming towards me, and he says, "Greetings, Alan," and he has come to help me, and we are going to shear some of the sheep. It is a flock that we own together, and when we sell the wool, we share the money that we make. And he has another hut similar to mine. And when he says, "Hello, Alan," I say, "Greetings, Peter." And then we begin to shear one of the sheep and to put the fleece in the hut until we have enough to take to the monk. And we're shearing one after another, very slowly and gently, and then feeling their backs after they're sheared, and they nestle against us, enjoying being stroked after the shear.
That sounds lovely. And where this very pleasant memory come into you from being this shepherd, on the next count of 3, the year will come to you of what year it is right now. 1, 2, 3. What year is it?
It is 1756.
Very good. And being aware now of the area where the sheep are, the flock at this very moment. Allow where in the world you are to come to you now. Where in the world are you?
I am in Suffolk, on the eastern coast, and there are more gentle hills in the distance, and the stream runs out of sight to the south of where I'm standing, looking out to the east and in the very far distance, with the sun showing that it is water. There is a boat 2-3 miles away, but we can see it from the hill.
Wonderful. And now on the next count of 3, I want you to tell me your surname. 1, 2, 3. What's your surname?
Peter is known only as Peter. I am known only as Alan. And we were both raised on a great estate where the owner is very wealthy. He is from Ipswich, and he has other shepherds working for him, and he also has many cattle with drovers looking after them, taking them to market when he orders it. He is a good and kind and gentle master. We are given good food, and when we need rest, we are given days of rest when other shepherds help with the sheep. And then when they rest, we tend the flock.
Lovely. Please tell me a little more information of what you know about your kind master from Ipswich. Do you know his name? If so, allow that to come to you now.
He is known as Lord of the Manor of Burton Manor, which extends over many fields and at its edge of wood.
And do you ever get to see, maybe even from the distance, Burton Manor?
Yes, from a distance, it is very large, and there are servants there, and our master does many other things. He trades in the Ipswich market, and goods come in from overseas, which he sells in the Ipswich market. And he does books and accounts in Burton Manor, where he has servants who can read and write and keep the books.
Excellent. And do you ever find yourself in Ipswich?
We are sometimes called in to help when there are big, heavy goods to move, things that he has brought from overseas, and the servants in the manor are not enough to move them all. And he has warehouses near Ipswich Market. And it is often that we bring in carving and items of furniture that he has taught. The others tell us from France and Belgium. And there are skilled craftsmen who make these chairs and tables, which are sought after by those who come to Ipswich Park because they are so beautifully made and so attractive. I have helped carry from the market to the store. And then we are given rest time before we go back to the ship.
I'm glad you're given some rest time. Now, allow a good strong memory to come to you when you're carrying this furniture. And when you're carrying this furniture, describe to me what you can see and sense. Just allow that strong memory to come to you. 1, 2, 3, now. Allow that strong memory to come to you. And describe what it is you're seeing and doing.
It is a table, nothing, seat, 8 or 10, and it is made of beautiful dark wood, and it is inlaid with patterns of different, they are of different shades. Some are dark and some are light. And they are carved simply but very beautiful. They are like huge flowers. They are like primroses that we have in the fields. And we cover them with cloth when they go into the warehouse so that they are not damaged. And the cloth is woven from wool that comes from the sheep that we tend, because it is the certain practice that things work together. And because our Master is kind and generous to us, we do our best to please him, to repay his kindness to us.
That's wonderful to hear. And whilst you're at this market and you're feeling the good warm feelings of the kindness from your master, I want you to just now be aware of how old you are right now and allow that age to come to you now. How old are you?
I have lived well, and I am in my 52nd year, and I still feel young and strong because I am never strained or forced to work when I'm, and because I feel younger than my years, I can do more work, and I enjoy reading paying master's kindness. My 42nd year. I hope that our priest is right when he promises from the Holy Book 80 years and 10. But I do not have any friends who are as old as that. I have some who are more than 50, but that is among the oldest of my friends.
That's nice. And friends at any age is a wonderful thing to have. You described the man you were working with, Peter, earlier.
Yes, Peter.
I want you now to be aware of a good, strong memory of you working with him and describe how Peter looks. Please allow that to come to you now.
We are sharing a score of the flock, and we help each other. We have practiced together for years, and when two of us here, it is so much better than trying to do it alone with the sheep tied. The sheep is at peace with two shoes, one to hold and comfort. And Peter is very strong. I laugh with him sometimes and say he should have been the blacksmith at Burton Hall, Burton Manor. He has the muscle of a blacksmith, and he has firm, square jaw and high cheekbones. His eyes are grey, and when he is surprised by something, he raises his eyebrows and opens his eyes very wide so that the grey seems to shine. And his face is a strong face, but it is also a warm, friendly face. He is a good friend, loyal and kind, very helpful. And that kindness shows in his face.
That's really good to hear. Now, staying with this lifetime, the lifetime of being the shepherd, I want you to go to a moment when you're seeing yourself in some sort of reflection. So you could describe to me how you look. So a good, strong memory when you're looking at yourself in a reflection. Allow that time to come to you now.
I am by a pool in the stream. The water is almost motionless, and I can see my face clearly. It is round rather than long, and my cheeks are full. My eyes, as I open them to look at my reflection, are what I would call mid-brown. not light and not dark, but a medium brown, like newly sawn oak, that mid, and my hair is still black in places, but there are patches of grey, and on the very top of my head, I put my hand there to feel it, the hair has gone. My ears are close to the side of my head. I put my hand up to feel it and bend it forward so I can see the reflection of it in the pool. And when I let go, it returns close to my head. And I have a moustache, which is black turning grey, and a grey beard. That is one of Peter's other kindnesses, and I return it to him. We trim each other's beards when they have grown too long, and we sometimes laugh and call ourselves the Beard Brothers because our friendship is deep.
Good. It's wonderful to have that deep, kind friendship. And now, Alan, staying with this lifetime, staying with this same lifetime, Alan, I'm going to go back. When I next click my fingers, back, staying with this lifetime experiencing now of the shepherd, back to when you were around 10 years old, so we can see what your childhood is like. All right, now 1, 2, 3. Back to your childhood now, staying with that lifetime. For you being around 10 years old, tell me about that.
Because he called him, and he is a Burton shepherd, and he is a senior shepherd, and he lets me come with him to learn about the sheep, and he teaches me how to keep them safe. And he has begun teaching me, now that I am big enough, how to begin to share them. And my mother works in Burton Manor, and she cooks for our master, who is the Lord of Burton Manor. And she says that although he is very young, he is kind to all the servants and to the cooks and the house servants who clean and serve him, clean the house and serve master. He is gentle and kind. He treats the young servant girls as if they were his sisters. And my mother laughs and says that he treats her more like another son than a master. He is very kind and gentle to the cooks and the other kitchen workers and to the cleaning group. And accordingly, they all do their best for him in return for the kindness.
That's really good. I'm not sure if you said, but allow your mother's name to be said now. What's your mother's name?
Her name is Anne.
Lovely. Now, staying with this lifetime at this young age, I want you to go to a time when you're with your mum, so you can fully describe to me how she looks. Allow that to happen now. Tell me about that.
Her hair is and reddish brown. And when she is working, she has it rolled and tied at the back of her head, at the back of her neck. When she is at home in our cottage with my father, she undoes it because he likes to see it as she moves. And she is not as tall as my father, but she is much taller than me as her 10-year-old son. And she has what I can only describe as a medium-sized body, certainly not fat, but she is strongly built, and that gets her through her working. And she shows me so much love. And I sit beside her, or even sit on her knee sometimes. She holds me tight, arm around my shoulder. And she tells me that I'm a good son and that I must work hard for our life.
Wise words. Now, staying with this lifetime, we move further forward in time again. Further forward, staying with this lifetime, Alan. Further forward now, to you being in your 20s. Allow that to happen now. Same lifetime in your 20s. I'd like to know about your 20s, please.
I'm now a shepherd and entrusted with my flock, with my section of the Burton flock, which is an allocation for a young and fully trained and understanding shepherd. And I am becoming friendly with one of the servant girls. Is Molly, and she works by the gate of the hall, which is nearest to where the flock of sheep are kept. And sometimes, because she is very kind, gentle and generous, she will bring a cake or a newly baked small roof, and I share it with my friend Peter. And I would like, if we could, for her to be my companion. But we would need to have Master's permission to go out together, or to get to know one another, or even perhaps friends. And that is my life as a young shepherd.
Lovely. Just allow a little time to move forward now. Just a little bit of time, staying with this lifetime. So you can get to tell me whether you got to know more of Molly or what happened there. Allow that to unfold just a bit of time now so you can tell me the outcome. That happens now.
We, Molly and me, richly blessed. Master saw her bringing me a little cake that he'd left on the table because he was full. And he saw that we knew each other. We didn't know he was watching us, but he saw me put my arm around her and kiss her as a thank you for the cake she had brought me. And he stepped out of the nearest door, and we knew we had been seen. And we were both frightened and at the same time excited. And he came across to us, beckoned us to him. And then he gave us a rich smile and said, if you have found happiness together, I give you my blessing and my permission to marry. And as soon as the cottage is empty, after you marry, you shall live there. And we were both so excited and happy that we knelt to Master and cried, thank you, Master. And he smiled at us again and then went back to get on with his work in the treasury. And a little time passed, and we went again to ask if we could be married. And he called his chaplain, who performs the service for him. And it was the happiest day of our lives. And very soon afterwards, he found a cottage for us on Woodford. And it was so wonderful. Molly made me so happy in everything she did. I did all I could to bring happiness to her.
That's so nice. And the chaplain that married you, do you know the chaplain's name, or were you told it? If so, allow them.
We were told to call him Father John. He had no other name, Father John, as far as we knew.
That's nice.
He was also a healer and very kind to all of the servants.
Tell me about Father John's healing work. How did he do that?
When one of the servants was injured, he would say a prayer for the healing, and he would place his hands over, without hurting the injured person. If it was an open cut, he would hold his hands an inch or two above it. But if it was something like a severe bruise where there was no cut, he would actually lay his hands over the bruise and pray for healing. And there were friends who had been healed by him, and they said, though I did not understand in full what they meant, they said they could feel a gentle power flowing from Father John's hands when he touched the injured. And it was as if he was giving them some of his inner strength and energy in order to heal them. And he was a very good priest.
That's so wonderful to hear. Now, staying with this lifetime, same lifetime, being the shepherd, allow time to move further forward again. You now being in your 30s, allow that to happen now, 30 years old, or in your 30s.
I'm still very, very happy with Hannah, but she is unable to bear children. We don't understand why, but we have no children after all our years of marriage. We still love each other just as much. And the love that we would have given our children just enriches the love we have for each other. And I have been trusted to be the senior shepherd and teach the trainees. And I do more of that than of simply shepherding my own flock, so that they come to me as learners, and I show them all that I have learned from the sheep I tended. And I enjoy teaching them. And I also try to give them the love for the sheep that I feel myself. I want them not only to be skillful shepherds, but kind, loving shepherds. Well, that is the best way to treat the sheep and to procure the best fleeces.
I completely agree. Now, staying with this lifetime, now go further forward in time again, further forward to your return home, from when you were at the market in Ipswich and the tables and the chairs, what you were helping to move then. Just allow yourself to move a little bit further in time, so it's now your journey back home from that day out. Allow that to happen now and tell me about your journey home.
And there are 3 of us in the group because it is hard to relate that there are thieves, robbers, who lurk beside the road. And if a man is on his own, he is likely to be attacked and robbed, quite badly injured. But we shepherds, hard workers, strong, and very few of those who lurk beside the road would dare to attack a group of 3 or 4 shepherds and farm workers who are stronger than they are. And that is how we make our way home when we have loaded tables for master and walk in peace and safety down the road. And when we go into a town like that, master is even more kind than usual. And he gives us some coins because he knows that we will pass a tavern on our way back to Burton Hall. And we go into the tavern together. We are known to them. We are known to be men from Burton, and that we are happy, good customers. And with the coins master gave us, we buy Suffolk ale. Not too much. A large glass, and then another large glass. And then we set out on our way again to get back to Burton before the sun sets. And as we grow older, I know in my case, as I have grown older, I walk as fast as I used to. So we need to allow time to get safely home to our cottages, to have a good night's rest before going back to the flock the following day.
That sounds wonderful and nice. You had a tavern to stop at. On the next count of 3, allow the name of the tavern where you drank at to come to you. 1, 2, 3. Let's name the tavern.
The name of the tavern is Rose and Crown. And on the sign that hangs from above the door, there is one beautiful rose with leaves around, and the crown is above the rose, as if the rose represented the beauty and strength of a king and queen. And the crown shows it honor. And when we go into the rose and crown, we feel almost as if the beauty of the rose as an invisible beauty lives inside the bulb. And the crown gives us the blessing that a king or queen gives, a sort of welcome blessing. And Peter and I laugh sometimes and say, It adds to the flavour of the beer. But we know we're only joking.
That is funny. Now, staying with this lifetime, we're going to take a journey further forward again. Further forward to this time, stay in this lifetime. You're in your 60s. Allow that time to come to you now, staying with that lifetime. Tell me about that.
I am not quite 60, and I do not feel that I will reach it. I get very tired from the slightest movement, and Hannah has to look after me in this. And our master, God bless him, gives her time to nurse me and gives her food and wine to support me, to help me. And at least I can still enjoy the flavours the food master gives us and the taste of the wine. I feel that this life is coming very soon to its end. But I have so much to be thankful for. All the love and care and the generosity and kindness of Master. Few men could have had in this dangerous century, could have had the satisfaction and the pleasure that I have had, thanks to the love of my wife, my friends, and my master.
That's very nice. Now, staying with this lifetime and taking forward with you only what you want to take forward, and allowing all the positive memories of kindness and friendship and love from that lifetime. Allow yourself to now move forward to your last few hours of living this life as the work you had as a shepherd, your last few hours. Allow this to unfold and let me know what you're doing in your last few hours now.
It is almost too good to be true. Since I became so seriously ill that I could hardly move, Master has brought us from our cottage into a room and the ground floor of the hall where he has arranged a bed where Hannah can lie beside me and nurse me. I cannot feed myself anymore. She has to feed me. And it is almost impossible to breathe. And I know that it is coming to an end. But I just feel not sadness, but enormous gratitude to her most of all, to Master, and to great friends like Peter, and to other friends who have already passed into eternity. And I can feel that my mind and my body are no longer making contact the way that they did. It is as though my mind is living in a dream in which it cannot control my limbs anymore. It sort of floats above me like a cloud above me. and I can feel my last breath, and my mind leaves my body and soars high into the sky, passing the clouds, up, up into an infinity of light and beauty. I feel that the universe is my father and has called me home. And my last breath comes.
And now, as you continue into your next journey, that space that is known as life between lives, as you're aware of before entering into this life through that door of knowledge to be given to you, as you allow yourself to just relax, twice as relaxed as you are now, to allow more information to come to you, guidance from this life between lives, or this light to be there. As you drift deeper now, allow thoughts and feelings from this space, the life between lives, to come to you now.
I feel that my mind, my true self, my awareness, my knowledge that I am is like a cloud among the clouds. And I am able to enter and share experience with the cloud and with the stars. And I'm drifting nearer to the moon. I can see the wonderful patterns on the surface of the moon. And they are like beings. And the craters and the circles are entities. I can feel that there is a spirit in those craters, which is like the spirit that I am now as I drift between lives. The personality is the personality. The I am is the being. And it is so wonderful. I can make contact with other minds. And there is such joy and friendship. The other minds that I can contact now are so glad to be alive. They want to make others happy. It's a wonderful, wonderful place. I want to give happiness and receive happiness. And so do all the other minds who are in here with me.
That's so nice to hear that they want to give happiness.
In truth, in truth.
Good. And with still remaining in this life between lives, with just staying in this moment right now, just want to know what it is that makes you realize that it's time to go back to experience another life. How do you know when it's time? And allow that answer to come to you now.
It is like the light of a bird, of a falcon that flies high and glides through the wonders of the air, supported by the invisible and the incomprehensible. And then, very gradually, you want to have new experience. You enjoy the gliding, enjoy the floating in this wonderful, wonderful atmosphere. But then the urge strengthens to acquire more individualistic knowledge, to come down from the atmosphere into reality, earthly reality, reality of living in a star, living in the morning, living in the sun. And you come down, and you are drawn into a living being that wants a mind that is open like a flower opens for the sunshine. And you sink gently into it, and your mind connects with the fingers, the toes, the arms, the legs, the organs, and you are in a living body once again, and you're ready to explore and learn new environment, and it's a wonderful thing.
Thank you. And now, soon we're going to end this experience of the life between lives, and you'll go back to that room you started your journey in, with the relaxing couch to lie on. And I want you to have awareness that the doors are closed to the past lives for now, but can be reopened whenever you want to look into one of your other past lives. Are you happy now to return back to that relaxing room that you started your journey in?
Very happy. I love that.
Good. On the next count of 3, allow yourself to go to that room you started your journey in. 1, 2, 3. You're back there now, and just let me know that you're back in that very relaxing room of your choosing.
It is so peaceful and so gentle. It's truly wonderful when I'm there. And I'm moving. I'm getting back on my feet. And it's hard to explain, but my mind, now that it's back into my body, is having such joy from feeling my toes and my fingers, my arms, my legs, feeling my chest move as I breathe. I'm back.
Wonderful. Do you feel you need any healing either physically or mentally from this past life experience you had?
No, I just enjoyed it.
Good.
Well, nice. It was like going on holiday again to a holiday resort that you've enjoyed so much. And then when you come back from the holiday resort to your home, there's an equal joy. It's rather like it's rather like the sort of two sides of the same beautiful thing. And I'm so happy to be back, just as I was happy to make that visit.
Good. In a moment, I'm going to awaken you from this nice, deep, relaxed state, and knowing you can return to this very peaceful, relaxing room just by saying those words 20, 20, 20 to yourself whenever you want to relax deeply. But soon I'm going to count to 3, and on 3 and only 3, your eyes will be open. You will be refreshed, be alert, reinforcing every single positive thought you've ever had about yourself and others, remembering everything about this experience with crystal clear clarity. All right now, 1, becoming aware of your hands resting comfortably, 2, small movements in your body, signaling there'll be soon time to awaken. On 3, eyes open, alert, and ready for the rest of your night.
Welcome back.
That was wonderful. Very wonderful.
Thank you.
I must thank you, Paul.
And thank you, Lionel.
A truly amazing experience.
Thank you.
Just while you're coming round into reality, Lionel, as you were going through that experience, I was on the internet Googling any information that we had, and it was quite interesting that the first suspected place that I thought you may have lived wasn't Burton House, but Bartonmere House, which is one likely candidate. There are 2, and that was passed through the Fawkes family from 1746, but was built a lot earlier. That was near Bury St Edmunds and had a lot of farmland attached that was sheep and cattle. The one that I think it may be, there is suspected a place called Burton Manor House, and that is Freckenham, but unfortunately the only part of it that remains is an old cottage, so a lot of the history of the place is hearsay that was passed down orally through the village. It has, however, got a brook that runs through the land of the manor, and it does also have a rose and crown very near it in the village.
Wow.
So that was really interesting.
Wow. I'm just delighted to have been, in this with you with your experiment. I'm glad it's worked out, so well for what you want.
No,
Excellent, thank you.
Definitely.
And I'm very, very grateful to you. It was brilliantly done, if I may say so. And
thank you.
I enjoyed it as well as the interest. There was, if that previous life was as I felt it, it made me enormously happy. And I just can't put it into words. It was just that I'm so glad, as I examined that life with you, that I had done my best for the people I love, for Hannah, and for which is how I feel in this life about my adorable Patricia. We're coming up to our 67th wedding anniversary.
Oh, that's some going, that is.
Congratulations.
We married in 1957 on it's coming up. It's September the 7th, 1957.
That is some going, definitely. Was the past life regression, was the life what you expected? Did you go into expecting, I suppose, that level of normality, or did you expect something more grandioso, or?
No, I was prepared. I tried to open my mind as wide as it would go, so that I didn't have any sort of directional expectations, and that I found it just amazing and delightful. And the idea of living that life of a man who tried to be kind and tried to be helpful, and who responded with love for love and helped his friends when they helped him, he helped them, and was kind and gentle to them. I love animals in this life, and to be in a situation where I could be kind and gentle to the sheep, and when I was fleecing them, because it can be, if it's done harshly, it's so cruel, it hurts the sheep. I could almost feel the blade going carefully through and holding him gently with the other hand. He seemed to be enjoying it as well, and then I stroked him afterwards, and it was almost like a pet dog rather than a pet sheep. It was very, very nice.
I must admit there was a couple of points that made me tear up a little bit, and that was one of them. I was in there with the image with you sort of stroking the sheep and soothing the sheep. It was, and I did have a little tear in my eye. I thought it was absolutely lovely. It was lovely.
Like me, you are an animal lover, and it's it's part of nice people's personalities that loving animals is, it's just part of us. It goes with the style.
Definitely.
So on the occasion 40 or 50 years ago when it was a lady, and I try hard to remember her name. She was very, very good, did a lot of it. But she was an elderly lady when I was still in my sort of 20s or 30s when I did it then. And in those recalled reincarnations then, I was George Haskins, an infantryman who served in the Napoleonic War. And I lived in Dorset when the war was over and I got safely home. And in the second experiment, I was Peter Walters, who was a stonemason's labourer living in Peterborough, but working in a quarry in Wales. Third experiment, I was a friar called Brother John, born in Durham and in a friary in Durham. And the fourth one, which was the one I can still recall, was I was a Greek seaman, an Athenian seaman, whose name was Theostas, Theostas. And that was an experience I greatly enjoyed after being on this ship. He was only a fisherman. He didn't sort of go out on adventures. He just went around the Greek islands collecting fish. So it was, in a sense, that's not so very different from being a shepherd.
No.
In that little gentle, quiet life that he had. And there was something particularly interesting about it, because although he had to sell the fish for a living, he also had brought up, there was a fish that was stuck in another net that somebody had left around the road. And Theostas, it was very big. It was a good couple of feet long and big with it. And he got it out of the net before it died. And it swam away, obviously with great joy at being saved. But on 2 or 3 subsequent occasions, when he was in that area again, it came out of the water and looked at him as if he was saying thank you. And of that life experience as Theostas, it was the episode with the fish that I remembered most clearly. And just as what we were saying to Kate a moment ago about her love of animals, my love of animals, and the life of the shepherd that you and I went through, and then the fact that this very early Greek fisherman, if he was me, and I think he was, had a love of fish, and he rescued this fish. There was either a friendship for sheep or a friendship for the dog or the friendship for the fish. There is something that persists through all the reincarnations that if there is kindness and gentleness and affection for either other people or the animals that are in need, that's the consistent part of the being. And well, that's a wonderful experience. I enjoyed it very, very much. And ever so glad.
We better let you go and get a cup of tea and a slice of cake, because that was one heck of a session. That was, it was probably longer than you think, Lionel, that amount of time.
Yes, it probably was. So anyway, if you're if that's all okay for you, both of you, and I'm very grateful to you. And I will now indeed have a cup of tea and a slice of cake.
I'm going to get
Enjoy.
you back on very, very soon, Lionel, because there's lots of things coming up in the future for you that I want to discuss. So
Right, well,
I would
count me
love
in.
to have you back and
Yep.
chat about future endeavours. So thank you so much, Lionel, for
Ev-
participating in
ev-
that.
Ever so grateful for the opportunity, and anything you can fit me in on, you know, it's we're here.
Brilliant. And thank you very much, Paul.
Yeah,
Thank you.
indeed. Thank you, Paul.